wanted to hop online today to talk to you all about lockdown. Now, lockdown, as we all know, is a very unusual situation, and it's a real unusual situation and challenging situation for everyone for so many different reasons. We're all different, we've all got different stories, different circumstances, so it will affect us all one way or another in different ways. And I'll be honest, it hasn't always been easy for me. And I'm a very positive person with a very positive attitude, and I consider myself to have a very positive mental health. But there have been things that I have struggled with. So I can imagine the impact it's had on people who do find things difficult on a daily basis, and people that haven't got the coping strategies to support them. Now, I also know from the children, the teenagers and the parents that I've spoken to, the impact it's had on them and their lives and their children's behaviour, and how the parents are feeling as well, that I've spoken to during lockdown. And I wanted to share with all of you some of the things that I have struggled with personally. Now, one big thing for me is the fact that I have got out of my healthy routine of healthy eating and exercising regularly. And that's something that normally is part of my everyday routine, but it's something that I've struggled to keep up with during lockdown. And something else that's been a challenge for me also has been seeing my 14-year-old daughter and my 17-year-old son struggle with their schoolwork, but me not being able to help them. Now, thankfully, my 17-year-old son has been able to help my 14-year-old daughter, so that's been positive. But also, I've had quite a huge workload, and at times that's been great, but at times I found that I've had a feeling of overwhelm as well. Now, something that really has been difficult for me has been not being able to see my mum. Now, she's 81 years old, she lives on her own, and she has been feeling really lonely, and that's been tough for her and tough for me too, not being able to see her. Now, something else that I'm sure everybody else can relate to is social distancing. I'm not somebody who's used to social distancing. I'm very tactile. I'm a hugger, so that's been something that I've found difficult as well. And I mentioned before about my workload. Now, I've had a lot of work, which has obviously been a positive thing, but at times I've struggled to find that balance between, workload and relaxation. Something that, again, many parents I'm sure can relate to. I found it frustrating on days and different times when my two teenagers wouldn't get out of bed and do their schoolwork. But I will be honest here, and actually the days that I found it frustrating were often the days that I was finding things overwhelming and I was demotivated myself as well. Something else that's happened during lockdown, now I was ill for 10 days. Now, 10 days out of the whole of 10 weeks may not seem a lot, but for me, 10 days of being ill, not being able to do anything, I found that really difficult. Something else as well that went hand in hand with having a busy workload, and that was having a busy workload but having to do the work and missing the beautiful sunshine, wanting to go outside and enjoy the sunshine and relax, but knowing that I've had lots of work to do. But again, that's also been one of the things that's been positive for me, and one of the things I've liked about lockdown, because being busy is a good thing for a business at this unusual time. And again, hand in hand with the being busy with work, it's having that, putting that pressure, I suppose, on myself, and a need to feel that I should be constantly busy, constantly doing things within my business to make the most of lockdown, and to make sure that I'm keeping my business running and my business continues to strive. So, those are things that I've struggled with myself, and reflecting upon the things I've talked about, a lot of those things would be to do with work-life balance, which is something, before lockdown, lots of people were experiencing anyway. So lockdown was a good time for people to slow down. But actually, lockdown has been a struggle for many people, and I wanted you to know actually that although I posted a video about the things I've really loved and enjoyed about lockdown, that there are things that I have struggled with too, as I'm sure you have. Now, I hope you've enjoyed listening to my video, and thank you for watching. Take care.